Peace, y'all. Welcome to today's mathematics with your girl, Sunshine Monet L. Today is 10/19/8. We're in that day of 1 and 9, knowledge being born. We're in our Ketters and in our side, in the beginning and in the end. Ooh, I like that. That's kind of fly, being in the Ketters and your side at the same day and time. All right. So, what are you giving birth to based upon your downloads and the things that you know and your intellect? And, what are the Ketters giving to you, and how are you, putting it into your womb? How are you nurturing it? All those things like that. When you come into some type of realization about that, it brings knowledge in your Ketters, knowledge in your space. And then we're going to put that knowledge and we're going to put it into the month of Oba, the Libra scales, law, justice, truth, and righteousness. This is the energy of Raven, part of the butterfly clan. It's all about air, swords in this space. Intellect is key here. So we're going to put this knowledge into a space of knowledge. We got the double ones today, and it's going to bring us to two. This is wisdom. This is balance. This is the Taurus house of priorities and value and self-esteem and self-value, levels of love, facets of love, levels of forgiveness. Wealth and business is here too in that space of priorities, whatever those look like to you. So, we take that knowledge and we bring it into the wisdom. And then we're going to take that too and put it into the year of 8. This is the year of Hod, splendor, the celestial technicians. This is the year of building and destroying, transformations, death and rebirth, empowerment, secrets coming out, the pendulum swinging as we look at Oya sitting over there and Babalao, Capricorn energy right now as it makes its way back to Shango, but still sitting in our root chakra nonetheless, whether internally or externally, creating transformations and uncovering secrets, things that we held in our infrastructure, in our root chakras as individuals, as families, as consumers, as nations, as a society, etc., etc. So transformations happen in that space that we give thanks. Watch the currencies, watch the transformations, watch the storms. Be mindful of the dramatics. Remember, high highs make low lows. The goal is to be the homeostasis in the middle. So we're going to take that space of wisdom. We're going to put it into a year of conception, and then it brings us back into knowledge. So today is a day of knowledge on this beautiful Saturn day. Learn some stuff, absorb some things. Allow it to bring you wisdom. And give birth to some things on this day of knowledge. Like, having knowledge is cool and all, but how are you applicating it? How are you putting it out there into your space? You know what I'm saying? Give birth to it. So let's talk about what's astronomically happening. We start the day off with a 96% Juan and Gibbous moon. We're in that moon of cleansing. We're cleansing tangible things out of our space. Moon rising at 7:23 p.m. and setting at 1:10 a.m. We're in the 8th house with it. So we're in that house of transformation, empowerment, and rebirth. Taurus energy is in our mind, tropical, all about priorities, that I talked about, the facets of love, the facets of forgiveness, wealth and business and love, and our energy exchanges, sidereal and constellation. We're in Aries, so we're in new beginnings. We're in the space of the celestial enforcers, so enforcing our internal law, enforcing our boundaries, enforcing, the things that bring us joy and happiness. And the draconic chart, we're in Taurus too, so our soul is also in that space of priorities and wellness, and wealth. Sunrise at 7:14 a.m. and setting at 6:13 p.m. Then Mars and Pollux. Mars is over there in the Gemini constellation, giving us that ambition and that motivation and those triggers into our community. What kind of community do you want to be in? What does it look for you? Taking an initiative in your communities to do things is key here. But Mars and Pollux have a minimal angle at 8:30 p.m. Mars is 5.7 degrees south. Observe at 12 a.m. with a 5.7 degrees south separation. The Moon and Uranus are at minimal angle today at 11:43 a.m. The Moon is 3.7 degrees north. Conjunction at 12:33 p.m. The Moon is 3.7 degrees north. And we'll be able to observe that at 6:13 a.m. with a 5-degree northwest separation. So that was earlier this morning. Uranus is the planet that gives us the progressive pushes that we need to move forward, right? And they push pretty hard. So feeling those pushes happening in your intuition is a nice, that double one, the Ketters energy that brings us into that space of wisdom. You're going to get pushed into wisdom, you know what I'm saying? So you might experience something, especially on this day of Saturn, some different things that happen for you to exercise what you know. The Juno and Sun are in conjunction today at 11:13 a.m. Juno is 6 degrees north. Juno is the asteroid that gives us the idea of what we need in a bond and a contract and a relationship with, to want to stay in it. So Paying attention to that and your experiences is key here too. Might be a part of Uranus and the moon. The activity of Leo minores begins, max activity on October 24th, and they move at 2 an hour. Venus and Dashuba are in conjunction as Venus sits in the Scorpius constellation, creating transformations and empowerment to our heart chakra. That conjunction occurs at 3:14 p.m. Venus will be zero point 0.8 degrees north, minimal angle at 6:56 p.m. Venus will be 0.8 degrees north northeast, and yes, that will be visible. Venus and Graphias are at minimal angle also today at 4:50 a.m. Venus was 2.3 degrees south southwest, and we'll be able to observe that tonight at 7:30 p.m. with a 2.3 degrees south southwest separation. So Dashuba and Graphias give off the energy of Mars and Saturn. So there's a lot of challenges and restriction there happening to your heart chakra. It's like when you embark on those things of empowerment, of course, the equal opposite energy comes to, like, strengthen your heart chakra and the things that you're standing on. The moon and Pleiades are at minimal angle at 3:47 p.m. The moon will be 0.8 degrees south, conjunction at 3:41 p.m. The moon will be 0.8 degrees south. Occultation does occur. It's kind of like an eclipse without the sun involved. Observe at 7:57 p.m. with a 3.1 degree east separation. So Pleiades is like the 7 sorrow sisters. It's like what you have in your space that how you deal with your sorrow, how you deal with your mourning, your sadness, and stuff like that. And that also coming into a space of intuition, which still brings us back to the 1 and 1, 2, the Taurus energy, the Venus energy. Paying attention to your bonds and contracts is key here. Interpersonal relationships, which you need and want in them with that Juno and Sun conjunction. But that's what I have for you today. Reach out if you would like a personal numerology or astrology reading.